A new game. Today we're playing RimWorld, which is a beautiful little game that is a colony sim, as they call them, where you are tasked with developing a little, not like a large city or town, but like a small little colony, because the regular premise of the game is that you are a colony ship that has been destroyed and you're crash landing on a RimWorld, a world at the edge of the galaxy that is full of wild indigenous peoples, other crash landed people, space robots and aliens and stuff that want to raid and attack your little village. And you got to survive. And we're going to play it right now. So we're going to actually start with a new colony. There are 4 different starts. There's the obvious crash land that I had already talked about. And it's probably what we're going to play here. But there's also the Lost Tribe, which you start out with a different amount of people. You start out with 5 instead of 3, as we will in the regular scenario. But the Lost Tribe is 5 people who are tribesmen who were kicked out of their old tribe, and they're nearly starving. There's one where you start as the rich explorer who has a bunch of really good starting stuff, but you're only one person. And you can't do a lot, honestly, as one person. And there's obviously the naked brutality where you don't have anything and you're only one person, and it's the most difficult thing. So we're playing Crash Landed, which is generally the easiest one. It kind of gives you the even ground of like you have enough little starting tech and supplies that you can survive for a nice, easy amount of time early on. And you have enough people that you can get jobs done early on without having to like manually do everything. But we get to pick what is the sort of storyteller. So the game has different AI controlling what happens in the story, how often you get attacked, how often you get benefits, what sort of things you happen to have happen to you. And some of them are completely random. Like this guy here apparently is just insane. And the more harder you decide to have him be, the more often something random is going to happen. Most people play on him because random things happening is pretty good and pretty bad. But generally, it can be pretty good. You're not guaranteed to have something bad. The other 2 people are, in my opinion, more difficult to play because they guarantee something bad is going to happen regularly every single time. But we're going to play on the easier of the 2, the Phoebe Chillax, which is chill as you would expect. She creates a lot of the raids and stuff as normal, but there is a lot of time between them. But they are much more difficult than they would be with the classic Cassandra lady. And then we can obviously pick the difficulty. I have played this game before, so we will pick Strive to Survive. And we're not going to play the hardcore mode where you only have one save, and once everyone dies, once one person dies, you can't like reload the save. We're playing a little casual, and we can put anything in here. We can put Batman. We could put fart butt. Anything in here for the seed to start out, and we can pick some other modifying things. Not super important. The only thing I'm going to change is the globe coverage, which is just how much of the world is generated at the start of the game for you to like explore if you want to. You're really not doing much exploring in the game. But yeah, we're just going to go with that, and it's going to generate the world. Now, there are a couple DLC that you can have in the game, and there's some additional mods that I didn't think I had turned on. I don't think they are turned on, seeing as they were all grayed out there. So we're actually playing the base game as, at least I'm pretty sure we're playing the base game as we are. We've got the learning helper, which I don't need because I actually know how to play the game. And you can see all these different spots here as it shows up that the half world that it is generated for us. You see the other part's blue because it just didn't generate a whole world for us because we don't need a whole world. And it's actually really important for us to figure out which factions are not hostile to us, because there are a bunch of hostile factions that we can't trade with. Trading is something we will want to do in the game. And specifically, 2 of the factions are pretty neutral to us. Now, we can eventually get these guys kind of chill with us, you know, back to neutral, we can trade with them, but it's not the easiest thing to do. It's not something we have to focus on even. But what we want to do is we want to put we can actually pick where we're crash landing, quote unquote. And we can actually pick, you know, to land near factions that are our allies. So even though it's kind of weird, the UI sometimes, because this is a green, you know, teepee tent. Like, oh, are they my good guys because they're green? No, they're actually hostile down here, which is not great. The two guys, we want these purple houses and these yellow teepees, these yellow looking tents. So I want to be around at least some of them. This spot here actually looks beautiful. And actually the location on the latitude, I believe this is important as well. Left and right doesn't matter. However, left or far right. But as we go further north, if I click on a spot, I gotta scroll away in their little hexes here. We can see stuff like, oh yes, there's movement difficulty for you actually sending traveling parties out. But there's also important things like how long is the growing period of this planet. And the planet rotates in 60 days. So it's a very short, quick thing, and seasons last only 15 days, which work out fine for the game. The game manages that. But only 30 of the 60 days are relatively good for growing, which is very, very manageable. That's not bad at all. But if we actually pick somewhere like here, like I was looking at, we have a year-round growing period, which also comes with its own detriments. That means it's warm all year round. And if we can't cool our workers and stuff, they can have heat stroke, they can get sick more easily, all sorts of things. So I would like to preferably find something a little bit further north or south, rather than near the equator as this one is. But as good a spot as that is, we might pick it anyway, because it is good to have a lot of traders. Now, it would also be nice to go up here. I think this actually is very, very good for us. We can actually pick, so this one is 30 out of 60 days. I think I do want 40 out of 60 just for the added extra. Yeah. And it says stuff like rainfall, which doesn't really matter too bad. Rain is good. Rain helps put out fires, which are common when there's thunderstorms. And luckily rains follow thunderstorms generally, and you can easily ignore essentially wildfires as they come through the land. For the most part you can, if there's a lot of rain in the territory, which I think we're going to have. But I do not want to actually just have flat terrain. I actually do want some hills, or even large hills. So we're actually going to pick one of these hilly tiles. There are actually some good roads. So there's different types of roads that help your movement speed, which is going to be really nice to have our base on top of them, or at least near one. I think these large hills are going to be ideal. Now let's see, we've got some advanced stuff. We can change stuff, but not going to do that. We can also select a random site. We're not going to do that. Factions, this is again, is just to see who is friendly to us. These guys are all actually really, really friendly to us, or relatively friendly. Not going to come and attack us, but they will be once we start doing some missions for them. So let's actually get this started and move on to our crew picking. So we don't just get random people. We don't just get a pre-decided set of people. We actually get to sometimes pick through these guys, and ooh, I can prepare carefully as well. So I do have the mods enabled. That's good. Yes, I do want to leave the prepared carefully thing. So some characters have bad health traits. Some of them, like this one here, has some hearing loss in both his ears. He has a stab scar in his shoulder, which means he has pain, and it's less effective when he does stuff with his arm. And he has a bad back, which is really bad. It means he's slower to move, and he can manipulate things slower, which means he doesn't work very well. And bad hearing. Essentially, we're passing off on him. This hunter guy, he's got too many bad health problems. Now, Space Marine would be great to have. This guy Bridges sounds super cool, but he has artery blockage, which isn't terrible. He can work fine, but that can develop into something else efficiently. He has a small stab scar, which is great, but shooting in melee really good is actually not as useful as it might you might think, because we are going to get attacked. We are going to get fought. But he's pretty effective at some other things. So we do need someone who can cook. That is super important, especially early on. We want someone who can cook so we can have good, fresh meals. That'll help boost our morale, which we'll get into, which is actually called mood in the game, and artistic. So we want people who can do some art, but it's not super important. And he can do some intellectual stuff, so we can do some research projects and construction if needed. But he's misogynistic and doesn't like women, which is not the worst thing. There can be way worse traits. He will be fine. Now Sam, let's see, an escaped convict. He has chemical interest, but is incapable of caring. So his health stuff isn't a big issue either, but right leg, scratch scarf, no problem. He's good at mining. Mining's not that important. We can get anyone to mine. It's not great that he's good at mining or really interested in actually mining. Social can be really nice, and so can having more intellectual. But he doesn't have anything else that we really want right now. We actually want plants. He has 0 of that. So, Daughtry. I have no idea how to spell his name. Ivan here has really good crafting, which is nice. We do want that, and is a little good at cooking. Moderately okay at plants. He also has great memory and quick sleeper. Those are also 2 great traits. We actually want him for sure. But I think we're going to bump Sam to the bottom and try and find a, let's see, Miss Art student. We don't need you. There's a banished soldier who's incapable of intellectual, but he's tough, kind, and a quick sleeper, which is really good. However, he's not a big plant guy. Between these 2, we could probably get away with plants, because these are the 3 we're taking so far. Let me actually see. This is veterinarian, brawler, greedy, and tough, which is nice. And he's incapable of intellectual and artistic. So he's not going to make art or do any research stuff, which is fine, because if we have someone else to cover those spots, that's great. Tough is always good because they take less damage. Greedy's not, but it's okay. It's manageable. In fact, in some ways, it's good, because if he has a nicer bedroom, he has more cool artsy stuff in his bedroom. It's bigger, there's more, cooler stuff in it. He's happier. And he's also a brawler, which means melee is really good. And he can heal pretty well. So medic would be nice, but let's see, geologist. You're not good at plants either, which is not great. So yeah, I think we have our team here. We have some burly looking guys with beards. We got a couple guys who can cook. All of them can cook, actually. We have 2 really good fighters. The inventor isn't great at fighting, but he's not incapable of fighting. He's not incapable of violence specifically, which is really important, because when you only have 3 people, all of them fighting is really helpful when mad bears come to attack you. Because bears are really hard, even if it's like 30 wild monkeys come to attack you. Losing a third of your fighting power is not easy to compensate for. But the biggest downside I think we have is that our medical experience is very, very bad. So you can see the whole team skills of the 3 people kind of average together. We have a lot of people who like shooting, a lot of people like melee, so we're going to be good in combat. Plenty of interest in construction, and it's even moderately high. So little fire symbols are how much a person wants to learn. So if he starts fighting melee, he'll learn and get melee experience and level up faster. Same with construction. But yeah, this guy loves crafting, which isn't construction related specifically, but it's for making other items, weapons, components, and stuff. Other cool things that we're going to need for our colony. But mining, again, like we can recruit more people, so it's not like we have to just completely get everything solved. Plants, no one really wants to do plants, but we have enough skill that we can at least start it. Medical is one thing I'm worried about, because if our guys get injured, their survivability is really dependent on either us having really good quality medicine or someone who is really good at medicine. And having someone who's not good at medicine apply good quality medicine can also be really bad too, because they can apply it badly and it won't do much at all. So we either need to have exceedingly high, like ultra good medicine, which I think we start out with some, or we need to get a doctor here early on. But this is what we're running with. I'm gonna rename. Give him a little nickname. In the middle here, he's Ivan. And that's sharp. So that way his name isn't Daughtery Lee, whatever there, I can't prepare. And let's get in here. So I think these mods are enabled then. Yes, good. Okay. So some of the mods are nice. They're not super important as to the fact that they changed the game, but they are very, very useful. So let's see our little map here. So you can kind of see these are actually little mountain areas. So theoretically, if I could like look up, this is like a top-down view, little square boxes for building and stuff. This is kind of supposed to be a mountain that's right here. We can't traverse it, but we could eventually dig into it. And a lot of these walls and things, or these hills, are good for us, in fact, because we can use them as sort of cover for our little home. Now, there's a few things that you can kind of see. You can kind of see that there's compact steel here, which we can mine for steel ore. That's really good to know. This here's jade. We need steel. Steel's obvious that you need it, but jade is kind of just like a money thing. Or if we make sculptures out of jade, they're more beautiful because it's jade. There's things for compact machinery. Machinery gives us certain components for cool things in electronics that we will need. And of course, you can also see animals out and around. Now, it's not super important what animals we have. There's just going to be plenty of them all over the place. All these gazelle. Just a ton of them. And there's a bunch of stuff we crash landed with. So this is some starter food and stuff right here. There's some here. Here's our moderately okay medicine. Then we have a handful of equipment that we can use. Here's some steel we start out with. Some money we start out with. Let's see. Bridges. You are nice. Yeah, so you're good at shooting. You're immediately going to take our bolt action. Let's see, we want to keep alive, so you're actually going to take the helmet, pants, and flak vest, because Sharp here is tough, so he doesn't need the armor to take less damage. He's actually very survivable as he is, and he really likes melee, so even though it would help him, we're actually going to just give him that stuff there. And then Ivan, you can have this revolver for now, and I'm going to try and keep you out of combat unless it's necessary. But you can also see cool things like we've got berries here. So if we need food early on, berries are very, very plentiful, as well as obviously animals. Animals are the easiest way to get a lot of food whenever you need it, essentially, especially in a nice climate like we're in now. And I think I am. There's more stuff that crash landed over here. It's good to see. It's good to like scout out the map to see where some supplies are. There's a lot of steel over there. It'd be really nice to have. And I just had to, box it selected so they are told that they can haul it around back to our base, which we're going to place right here. Because we have a nice little spot here where we can put a wall up here, in between here, and then, kind of actually forge a full wall around here-ish. We can have a nice defended location here with plenty of mountains that's giving us essentially free defensive walls for the most part, so it'll take us less work. And then this sort of texture here, like this is dirt and these are plants and stuff. If lightning strikes here, it'll spread out all across all this plant life and stuff, but it won't spread onto this just flat, rocky, rough dirt, because obviously it's not going to catch on fire. So it's a nice little break wall for fire as well. But here, we might have to do some of our own manual. We might have to put concrete in or something, or a stone floor to keep stuff from spreading from outside the wall to the inside or into our things, and all sorts of stuff we'll get into more. But specifically, let's see. We want to first start off. I'm going to put a stockpile zone. Let's see. I'm trying to think let's not do that yet. Let's not do stockpile zone. Let's do a little bit of pre-planning. So I happen to know, having played the game enough, that this dark little dirt here is actually rich soil, which is another good reason to actually set up here. This rich soil will grow stuff much faster, which is good. We'll have to plant and work less for more food, essentially, which is nice. But I can also see the fertility overlay, which will literally show me the green here. I can plant in the green, and I will get bonuses. We have up here if we really need to use it. We probably don't need to, but we can have some nice farmland between these two spots here, which means we don't want to build buildings over top of these. It looks like we also have a nice little, like, this is like a ruins of something that I can kind of repair and use as like my first starting little shack, essentially. And I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn this off. I'm going to assign a stockpile zone, I think, to right here. So this is where we're going to take and store all our stuff. So all these food things, all these guns and medicine, the little things we have, all this wood, excuse me, that we are going to end up using is going to get stored here. Now, how do we get our guys to do it? Well, they have, where does it work? They have proficiency and priority. So proficiency tells them how fast they can, or how well they can do things. So like, obviously this guy can make art very well because he has high art skills. However, we might want someone to do something they're not good at, because grow, no one's really good at grow. However, we do want someone to do our planting stuff. Where are your stats, buddy? Oh, your stats are right here. I'm a dork. It might be Bridges early on, even though Bridges, out of all three of our guys, has the lowest plant score. Bridges, because he has the fast learner trait, will actually learn it faster than everyone else, so he'll level up faster. And seeing as he's probably going to be our cook early on, it's kind of efficient work for him to get the food, you know, harvest it and stuff, and replant it, and then go cook it for the group. Now the game is paused right now, so I haven't been like losing time or anything. You know, they haven't been sitting there starving. Because I also want to set up their work priorities, and we'll get into this. We'll talk about this a little bit more as we need things. But I'm prioritizing some of these things as high, and some of them as low, or lower at least. We want someone who can warden. We don't have good social skills for that, but if we get prisoners, warden is important. Handling is mostly for animals. Don't need to worry about that yet. Hunting isn't a big priority. Bridges will be 2 on that, but he's going to be, I think he's going to be prioritized on growing primarily. Cooking second, and then everything else is kind of going to be 3 or less. Yeah, you're not going to be researching at all. Ivan, yeah, you're not great at intellect either. You refuse to do it. And Bridges is going to be a bit too busy to do it, so we don't have a perfect setup. We'll put that at 2, so he can go research once he's done. But we aren't going to do any research early to get more tech and stuff, because we have some basic stuff already done, so we can actually set up electricity and air cooling early on. So if it gets warm here in the summer, no problem. We can already set up some stuff. Let's see. Plant cut, I think, is going to be a high priority for most of these guys. You're going to be our main constructor, Mr. Sharp. You're going to get real good at that. You guys are going to be backup cooks, because you all kind of want to do it. Bridges just happen to be the best. So we're going to leave him to that as well. But crafting, art, tailoring, smithing, we'll leave that 2 for now. I actually want you to haul priority, and then clean as a priority. And he will do this before all these other things, so he won't He won't cook, he won't entertain, he won't smith, tailor, anything. He'll only haul and clean for now, which is a really important job, because that really helps the logistics of everything. And I'm actually gonna jump haul and cleaning up pretty high. And we're gonna be adjusting this as we go, as I find out problems with that. But we're actually gonna get this started, and they're gonna get going. And they're first immediately, I think, gonna start hauling things, or as Mr. Bridges here is doing, he's actually vomiting right now because he has sickness from the crash landing, of course. But we have a little dog that is actually a pet to Sharp. So this is Sharp's dog, which is really, really good. And let's see, we've got steel. We need to rebuild this structure. Let's see, first off, I want to expand this as our home area. So it is known that we own this. Let me shrink this area down here a little bit. I don't want to make this too big yet. That's pretty good to start out with. We're going to deconstruct some of these walls. Deconstruct that. And then I'm also going to need to mine through some of this stuff. That first, and then we'll get some of the steel out of the way. And deconstruct that. And then we actually want to claim all this stuff. And by claiming it, it's not destructible. By claiming it, we should automatically repair it. Put a door here. I'm actually going to put a door here as well. And then this is going to be our first little barracks here. It's not going to stay a barracks for very long. We're actually going to create housing for each of these guys. And they're each going to have their own little room at least. But we're going to have a little barracks in here first before anything else. And let's see, I believe... And furniture, we don't have beds yet. We could start making them, but we're just going to put sleeping spots here for now. They're all going to have to be in here. I'll put a little torch in here. And we're actually going to speed this up a little bit. Slowly thinking about how we're going to plan this out. So we don't have fertile soil here. But we do want our kitchen to be close, that way we can store stuff, as well as cook it without having to run as far. So we're going to put the kitchen in between here. Yep, he's repaired stuff. Yep, we've got this all sealed off. Now, it looks like there's a little crack in the wall here. There isn't actually one as far as the game is concerned in that little corner. So we don't have to worry about that. He's tearing apart that crap as well. And we're actually looking pretty good for the end of, or mid first day. These guys are still hauling stuff. They've got a lot to move around, but there's not a lot we have to worry about early on. Getting everything near our home is important early on. That's the main thing we want to get done as soon as possible. So we don't just have supplies just out in the middle of nowhere, you know, that we could use, but just, you know, lying out here. Because we're going to need a lot of wood for what we're going to do in the future. In fact, speaking of wood, I need orders. Yes, I want you guys to chop wood. Specifically, we're going to chop wood here. And actually, yeah, just all of here. They're going to chop wood and they're going to haul it to here based off of their plant cut priority, which is 2. So construction comes first for one of them, but most of them are going to be plant cutting until I start giving some grow objectives. And I really should soon. We should put a growing zone in. Let me pull up this map just to be sure. Let's see. And we don't want potatoes. The default is a potato immediately. But the first thing we want, I think, is rice. Because rice if you actually look at the stats and stuff, rice has the shortest grow time, 3 days. Super, super fast. Corn, oppositely, has the longest, which is 12 days. Almost 12 days. Now, these will grow faster because they're in fertile soil, but we also want some other things growing eventually. Cotton is good for some early basic clothes. Hops is good because we'll have beer eventually. But I don't want to go too crazy on planting all the things that I want to have in the future. I just want to focus on the things that I need for now. And right now, let's place. Actually, let me look at some of my guys. Bridges, you are a fast learner. Ivan is a quick sleeper. And so is Sharp. So Ivan, these guys don't need, Ivan and Sharp don't need as much sleep as everyone else. So Bridges has to have a normal sleep schedule. But Ivan and the other guy can actually have 2 additional hours where they don't have to sleep, which is very nice. I'll set recreation for now. So they'll actually get up at 4 now because they don't have to sleep that long. But yeah, it's getting nighttime. Most of these guys are getting tired. They'll go to bed whenever they're done with their next task. So he's cutting down a tree. He literally fells it and then he's going to head to bed. And are any of them set to mine? Yeah, Sharp is, but he's got other priorities with construction, which is why he hasn't taken this chunk out yet. My little OCD head is bothered by it a little bit. And I mean, just for the future, I'm gonna have this mined out too, so it's a nice little square room. The one thing that might end up bothering, do you sleep with your eyes open? It almost looks like it, but I don't think you are. Just because he's laying on his back. Kiko looks like a beautiful dog, and I'm so glad we got a dog. We usually get stupid pets like raccoons and gerbils and stuff. But a dog is a great pet to get early on for our boy Sharp. And you can kind of see they have different colors, and this little bar in the back of the character here, that's their mood and their needs. So their mood, if it drops to a certain threshold, they have a chance to kind of go crazy, to kind of have a break, a little mental break, and go nuts. Oh, of course, Sharp is gonna wake up in 4 a.m. and start mining right next to these two. Of course he is. And so one of the debuffs is that his sleep was disturbed twice. And Bridges, I gotta click him here. He slept on the ground, has an awful barracks, ate without a table. Luckily, we've got enough bonuses, at least from the low expectations, because of, obviously, it's a terrible situation that he's not used to being in. But he's got some optimism and low expectations because he knows he's not going to have a lot. So his mood is going to be just naturally high for the beginning because things aren't actually that bad. At least not as bad as they could be. So we've got him mining. Bridges is, I don't know how he's not bothered by. Okay, he's been disturbed sleep once. So literally mining right next to his ear is not disturbing him that much in his sleep. But he wakes up now. He slept in the cold, slept on the ground. Yeah, didn't like that. But once he gets some food in his belly, we should probably get a table set up here soon. It's not that important, but I want you to mine this all out. It is pretty important, but let's actually get let's get a wooden wall. Not the best option, but it's the option we have to go with for now. See, they have little conversations too. Bridges says something about guilty pleasures to Ivan. Ivan Bridges could about friendly tailors. They have little back and forths sometimes, and different things they say to each other might increase or lose or lower their mood. Let's see. We have just the fertility stuff, so I don't go too far on this. We're gonna build 11, which is perfect, by 13 is probably more than enough. I'm gonna put a door out here, one here in the middle, and I need a wall in between here, I think. Let's see. Actually, no. Because of what I know. Because I know how I want to set this up, actually, I don't want... What am I doing? I'm messing all sorts of things up like a goofball. I want wall, wall. I just want the doors to 4 out here because of how this is going to end up getting set up. And then I'm going to have another wall go right here. We're going to have a little wooden door. Doesn't really matter. But we're going to put it right there. So this is going to be our main kitchen area right here. Kitchen and dining room for the time being, at least. And then this is going to be the storage area for our food resources. Now, we have access to some air conditioning. So luckily, we can get that set up as we need it. But I'm actually going to get some other stuff set up first. So we want the stove set up. I'm actually going to put it right here. It's going to be a wood-fueled stove for the start, at least, because we don't have a lot of power generation at the moment. We also need a butcher's table, which we're going to have nearby as well. Spiders blocked by oak tree. Well, this oak tree is going to get cut down. I want you to harvest this oak tree now. That way it's out of the way so I can put that down. Oh, thank goodness. That terrible sound is this warg. This is a warg, like a stronger wolf, essentially. It's a predator, and if we're not careful, if we end up like getting animals and raising animals and stuff, if we're not careful, a warg can get in and start attacking and stealing our animals, which we definitely want to have. We want to have some animals here. I don't know if gazelle, even though we can tame them, I don't think they're a good animal to tame. I see hares, I see rats, I see steel we want. Raccoons, deer. Nothing immediately jumping out to me is something I want to tame. Turkeys might be a good thing. I actually looked at the wildlife. I can literally just see what we want. Doe, gazelle, turkey, hare. Yeah, nothing good. We don't have the nice cows or oxen or horses, which would be really, really nice to have. But let's see, I also need furniture. I need to put a chair in. And I know the little path here, like you wouldn't want to like step over this chair as you're walking by. But these guys, my colonists, they don't actually care. They'll actually just walk right through here. And even though they do want a chair here for when they're working, they don't otherwise care. They're all going to bed, but while we're waiting for that, we're actually going to set up a little table. Let's see. I'll set up a bunch of tables here so we can have, well, shit. I don't think we want that. I do want a square table, yes. And we'll just put chairs here. The problem is they can only use 3 of the spots at a time to eat food. That's all they'll do with the spot here. We're gonna put a torch in here as well. I think we're just gonna put it right here for now, because every little workspace like this butchering table and stove need light to work efficiently. Okay, good. You guys are just sitting here. We've got all our steel, our pre-packaged meal food, which is it'll last forever as long as we don't eat it all, of course. But it won't go bad. So we don't need to go get berries or hunt for food, which will spoil relatively quick by comparison. But we're actually doing not bad at all. What are you doing? Going for a walk, which is actually an important part of their mood. We need defenses, it says, and we need recreation variety. So you don't have anything for recreation yet. The only thing we really can make is this horseshoe spin, which, you know, I think we can put it right here. We can put it right by the door, right there by that tree. Cut that tree down. And they'll have all the recreation they need. So like going for walks, you know, stargazing, throwing horseshoes at the horseshoe pin, all forms of recreation that help increase the mood as these guys are recreationally satisfied. Let's see, planting this stuff is not going super fast, mostly because our guy is not good at all at plants, but he's actually gaining experience very, very fast. So he'll be at level 2 here soon, which will help speed him up some. And it's going pretty darn good early on. Now, one thing we want to worry about, the most important thing I think, is actually our wealth. So if we look at this graph here, it tracks our wealth in total. And it'll break it down into items and to creatures and buildings and stuff. But as our wealth goes up, the difficulty of the game actually goes up. They're going to send more difficult raids towards us, attacks, animals and things, and plights. So we kind of want to avoid getting more stuff in many ways. We also want to avoid leaving our stuff out in the rain uncovered, which is okay for stuff like steel, but like the packaged survival meals will eventually deteriorate being rained on. Same for these components and our medicine. So we want to move this zone into here, actually. So I'm gonna delete that. This has the same. Actually, speaking of zones, I kind of want to put these chunks of stone somewhere else. I kind of want to, but I kind of don't at the same time. They're kind of fine here, of course, but I'm gonna need to move them into some sort of stockpile later. Oh well, it's not that important right now. Let's see, berries. We could harvest those. Those don't need to be in here. Oh, okay. Visitors from Alonia have arrived from Colony in the east. They are afraid to enter your territory for the following reasons. No guest beds. You send them away, they might stay in the area. Come back later. So one of the mods that I have is, instead of just like capturing people, enslaving them, and then making them join your party, one of the mods I have is that you can actually have people arrive and stay as visitors in your area, and recruit them through just friendship and stuff, and in good terms. This is them, like the first time people are coming to go visit my spot. And I think I'm going to refuse them until I actually build beds for them to stay in for a while. Because honestly, I don't think I need to do any recruiting right now. It would be nice to get more people. But, we gotta handle our first few issues first with our regular core group of guys first. And their moods aren't great. Darkness, slept on the ground. Yeah. Eat without table. We're getting some of this stuff figured out. Butchering table. So we add jobs here. And the only one for the butchering table that is important now is butcher creature, which we want to set not to do a certain amount of times, but to do forever. Every time we get a creature butchered, or like an animal we own killed, or we hunt one, we want to butcher it and turn it into meat. We'll get leather and stuff from it too that we can use. And we can also make kibble, which is a cheaper food source for some of our carnivorous animals. We definitely want that eventually if we get a lot of them. But for now, we can manage without it. Okay, so nearly everything was able to store in this little block cord up here. Once this is done and starting to run, actually, I want to get a setup here. This is going to be a stockpile zone. This is going to be food only. We can actually clear all. I don't want rotten. I just want food. So we're going to set all foods that can be put in here. And this is going to be an above priority. So this is going to be preferred priority. There's different tiers to priority, so they'll like work down the list. But food stuff is going to go in here above all else. So our meals here are going to get shifted over there once these guys wake up. That way they'll also try to eat here instead. But this is where we're going to store all our stuff. This is where we're going to eventually turn into like a meat locker, like a freezer as well. Which technically, power, no, temperature. We could do that now. But again, I don't have a power source, so we could get power with a wind turbine or chemical or wood generator or something. But it's not super important right now. If we're just smart about things, our food won't go bad lying around by the time we end up going to eat it. Oh, but it does look like our dog is eating our stuff. That's not ideal because you could eat other things. You could literally go out and start eating this gazelle. Actually, so the warg that killed it has eaten half of its body parts. We can see missing body parts 50%. But we can still actually, if I set it for them to allow to pick it up, someone will get it and butcher it. Maybe? That might be a handling thing or it might be a hunting thing. I don't know. But Bridges is our hunter, so I don't think anyone's going to go grab it here soon. Because he's busy with the plant stuff. And the plant cutting. Is it plant cutting? No, it's not higher than grow. You should be planting this crap first. But there's some also nice things that are good to have here. We have these wild heal roots, which can give us crappy medicine just by harvesting these. It's not as good as this good stuff, but actually, I think we actually change the level of medicine each of our guys will automatically use. So I'm going to lower it. That way I'm going to harvest some of this. That way we try and use this first to heal things, and then I can see what's wrong with them, you know, and whether they need to use the higher end medicine or not. Oh, nice. He's going to have to do it because he got everything planted. He butchers that up. He's got a nice stack of meat. And he put it right here. We have 30 gazelle meat, which we can start turning into simple meals. And we're going to cook these. So we can set this up so I can cook this. Someone will do this job until I have 7 meals, which means I'll never have more than 10. Uh-oh, that's not good. A mad gazelle. So this is something that can happen fairly regularly. And it means I have to draft someone to go fight this. Draft him. You're going to go here. We're going to move at normal speed. He's attacking our door. It's taking some damage from the crazy gazelle. But I can sit here and literally he will fight this guy. This guy's going to help shoot. Perfect. I'm going to undraft these guys, and the gazelle was defeated. And this guy took some damage. So he took some bruises and a crack. Nothing too bad. He's going to heal them slowly but surely. In fact, he's going to go rest. And who is our... Ivan is our main doctor, so he's actually going to go and treat Sharp. And Sharp doesn't need any medicine to treat these. They gotta be bandaged a little bit, and he'll be fine. But he's also gonna rest while those things heal. Which honestly, he doesn't need to that much. He can still do his construction stuff. It'll heal slower, but it's not. They're not bad wounds at all for what we normally might put up with. But yeah, our guy Bridges put some simple meals together with the gazelle meat we had, and I can actually make fine meals as well. Ooh, but none of my colonists have the skill to make fine meals. Bridges will eventually have it. He's learning pretty quick, but he's not there yet. We're working on simple meals alone. I don't even have the table in here done. But we have a little bit of leather, which we can eventually make into some stuff once we make a tailor's bench. But these guys are kind of going to just do this slowly but surely. This is one of the boring parts about RimWorld. But there's not a lot that's happening right now. It's just, like, I kind of know what to do, and I did the basic stuff beginning. We can kind of just sit out and chill here for a while and let them kind of build up what I've planned out for them. See, Sharp's already healed, we're fine. Group of travelers are passing by, nice. They don't have anything to trade, so we don't want anything from them. We have no need. I'll just show up and hang around for a while. And our mood is not terrible. They still don't like sleeping on the ground, having an awful barracks, and eating without a table. And as far as like things going wrong, like that is nothing, right? That is easily solvable, right? We're gonna start eating on tables here soon. I'm gonna start making actual individual rooms here soon. They're gonna look relatively nice. Our warg, that could be a problem in the future, is doing fine fighting and killing these gazelle. Which, I mean, honestly, we're gonna steal every gazelle he kills and harvest it for ourselves. Okay, so we almost have all our construction done. Once this here is set up, I'm gonna get him started on the actual housing. Wow, he built that fast. We got one more chair there, bud. We've got plenty of wood, or we should have plenty of wood. Because these guys have been cutting it, yeah. Oh, we get to pick our settlement, nice. I don't actually care what her name is. It's not super important to me. But we are now known as the Tona, and our faction is now known as West Nalia. It doesn't mean anything to me. Doesn't need to mean anything. You can call it whatever you want. But, ooh, a flash storm. Not great. This is the kind of stuff that I was worried about a little bit, and part of the reason why we plan certain things. So there's lightning that's going to start striking all over the place. And our guys will do firefighting first thing, absolutely. If it comes to it. Now, they won't automatically just run over here and start firefighting. It's probably going to rain soon and put all this out. But if it actually gets into our home area, which I should expand at least a little bit here. If it expands into our home area here, then they'll start putting it out. Then they'll be alerted and do it. But this, I don't think there's any issue at all. There's a boomalope that almost caught on fire. We did catch on fire, and luckily was able to put it out. But yeah, it burns a bit. But it's not the worst thing that happens. Let's see. There's steam geysers around, which are a really good source of energy once we unlock the technology to use them, but they're outside of our regular base, so we either have to set up something defensible outside to get it with a little steam generator eventually, But very far in the future, we'll have to worry about that. But for now, power is the least of our worries. Not something we immediately need to worry about, because as far as food is concerned, we can easily get more than enough for our own things. Yeah, see, it started to rain. It's going to put the fire out. Just burnt a little bit over there. Food, we're growing enough of it on our own. This is 72%. We could harvest it now if we wanted, but let it finish and harvest normally. What I would like to do, doesn't think we have a lot of wood because it's defaulting to steel made stuff. But how do I do floors again? I can smooth, here's floors. There's literally a tab for floors. We can make concrete out of steel. So I want this to be concrete in here. And then all of this as well. So concrete, obviously, no fire is going to spread. Ooh. Okay. A group of pirates from the Saw Panthers, which is a pretty cool name, I gotta say, has arrived nearby, and they're attacking immediately. So these guys, this guy, this is one of the reasons why we want to keep our wealth fairly low. But yeah, it makes it super easy for these early raids. So this is just one dude who's immediately come to attack us. And lucky for me, we can handle him absolutely no problem. So, let's see. Sharper's our melee guy. He's going to sit up here. And we don't want him to stand in between. Perfect. You guys are done. Let's see this knife. Was he wearing any cool clothes? No, it's all poor quality. Don't care about it. He's also in distress. I could make another bed, like heal him up a little bit. But you know, he attacked me, and I can't waste the medicine. Like Sharp's already hurt from fighting him because he got stabbed. I don't want to waste the medicine at all on saving him, especially from these terrible wounds. Gunshot knife thing. That would eat up a lot of medicine. He's just gonna have to die. It's just the sad truth of trying to survive on a RimWorld. But I will make a grave for him. And we're gonna place it, I think, over here. I'm gonna make 3 graves here. I mean, he might wake up and bandage his wounds, but no, it appears not. So I'm gonna allow him to be hauled. By default, bodies normally aren't hauled, but your characters will, yeah, they're gonna get some debuffs if they end up seeing the body. And he didn't, but I think he did. No, they're good. They're all soaking wet because it's raining outside, but that's not a big deal. Not at the moment. Yeah, concrete in here, because this is actually going to be a storage area, not just the barracks. And I want this all concrete in here, because it also makes it cleaner as well. We want it clean for all our food stuff. Like our rotten gazelle meat that is sitting in here that spoils in 4 hours. Wood would be nice to store indoors. We can leave it outside in the rain for a little bit longer, but yeah, he's making some concrete really quick. Nice. And so yeah, now I'm actually gonna slow it down a little bit, and I'm gonna start planning out our actual houses. So let's see, wood. It says we don't have enough stored, but there's plenty of wood just lying around the ground. Housing, we don't actually have to put near our main like area of protection. We can actually put it like out here or something, and they can just go to and from the areas at the beginning and end of days. Zombie run it away. Yep, of course, we expected that to happen. This probably is going to be all like production and storage down here in this area. So I think, yeah, here for our housing. Actually, let me orders. I want to cut that up. And then, yeah, wood. I can probably get away with making pretty... We got a lot of space at the moment, so I can get away with probably making some pretty big, like, rooms for now. Which is going to be very, very nice for some of these guys. For all of these guys. And then last but not least, we got a wooden door. So there are different benefits to the different types of doors. Limestone, sandstone doors, which are stone doors, are much heavier and have more defense and more health if someone tries to break them down. Same with a steel door, but they're all heavier and slower to open and close for our people. Wooden doors are generally the weakest, but are just fine. We're gonna make 4, probably actually, I should probably just make 5. Because we are going to get a lot more colonists before we're done with this playthrough. A whole lot more. Let's see. These rooms aren't huge, but it's mostly about their interior size. How many squares they are. It seems a little thin, but it's otherwise fine. We do want wood beds. I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For now, do they need a light when they're sleeping? They kind of don't. I don't want to waste all the time and effort putting torches everywhere when I'm gonna eventually move to wall lights. But I'm not moving to power anytime soon, so that's just how it's gonna be for now. So the rooms, they're gonna get started to be built. We've got some rice that was harvested and probably turned into simple meals immediately. Bridges is getting better and better at cooking, much better at plants. So the better you are at plants, the more you're gonna harvest, and the more likely you are not to screw up the harvest of plants. So you'll get more food more efficiently. Gotta put a floor in here. It's just gonna have to be concrete for now. I want to put a floor in these guys' place, but and I would typically go for wooden floors in here. Yeah, we need to do it. Because sleeping on the ground, like even if they're in a bed, like here, like it's okay, but we really still don't want dirt floors. But yeah, as soon as these rooms get built and they start sleeping in these their mood is going to be much higher. And if they have high moods, they have a pretty good chance of getting like inspiration. So like inspired to cook better, or to craft something incredible, or to hunt really well, or fight really well, when their mood is very, very high for long times. But that also lowers, as we get those inspirations, their expectations, because they expect to have that same high quality as they normally have. Let's see. We've been going for an hour, and this is actually like picking up just about as I expected it. Normally I try and make these houses, or these rooms, a bit earlier in the playthrough, but this barracks thing is so much more efficient. We got so much other stuff built earlier than I normally do. So it was more than worth it to get that set up and run that like that instead. But yeah, we are slowly increasing the wealth and value of our stuff. I kind of want to try and keep it below 20k. That's just not going to happen. We've already been 7 days in. Spring's not going to stick around forever, and we will need to get power, probably for our. She nuzzled. Aw, a cute animal nuzzled me. That was the dog, and someone said kind words to him. That's really good. That really does help your mood. Having nice pet animals and stuff around that people can pet and be nuzzled by. Really good for the mood in real life, as it is in video games. So yeah, once he's done with all this in here, I'm gonna build a little visitor's barracks. Probably on the opposite side, just right here. It's just gonna be probably just one large room that's like assigned to visitors, because you actually assign beds to for guests, for prisoners, for medical. And I would set one of these to medical now if there was any bonus to doing it, but there's not, because you actually need like specialized like flooring and stuff to get any bonus or some additional tech that I don't currently have to make it a bit better. But we might want one for prisoners as well at some point, because this guy died and he's buried here now, because we just didn't have room to take care of him, honestly. We could have taken care of him even though he attacked us and tried to kill us and steal from us. We could have taken care of him and released him and slowly improved the goodwill towards other factions, their hostility towards us. But, can't afford it too early on. And we have bridges down here screwing up the harvest on the rice here, which is fine. Rice actually lasts a long time before it spoils in these regular conditions, but it is very nice to have just sitting here, because 40 days, like, people can eat it raw. It sits for 40 days. We can turn it into simple meals pretty easily. Who's the narrator and what is the difficulty? We are playing on Phobie Chillax and we are playing on Strive to Survive. So very, very mild difficulty, especially for someone with as much experience as me. I've beaten the games multiple times on these similar settings, and I know how to like manage things, but I do find on the higher difficulties you kind of need to exploit the AI in combat situations, and I don't want to be forced to do that. I don't like exploiting the AI, so I play on these lower difficulties, and it's still just as enjoyable. Let's see. We're gonna expand these zones. And I'm going to actually remove all these beds so that you guys can pick beds and live in your nice new rooms. Let's expand this up. Have a nice little storage block here for all our crap, which is a relatively far way away from some things, but hopefully all our food production stuff is going to be stored here. And all our production stuff is going to be stored here. And we can build another like building here, I think. That'll actually have all our production-y, research-y stuff. Yeah, one piece of rubble in here that needs moved. Which means I probably need to have like a dumping zone for that crap, which I guess for now will be here. So it just puts chunks and corpses here for now, which I really don't want corpses in there. So just chunks, just chunks. Yeah, we are not doing bad at all. Starting off here. I'm actually gonna tell them to haul those. Yeah, haul that out to there. These chunks we can use to make into sandstone blocks, which we can make different things with. We can make sandstone floors. We can make sculptures and stuff, which will eventually get going here soon. But we need to make food. And we're running low on our packaged survival meals. We got plenty for now. We got some rice left. We got berries we can always harvest. Berries we'll keep for a decent amount of time. But and they can be made into meals. But as we can see, I think other than Sharp, who, yeah, slept on the ground still. He still kind of slept there last night. For at least long enough to still get the debuffs. But everyone else, even though they have awful bedrooms because there's nothing in them yet, really, really has a good boot. Lost all those negatives and got some nice buffs, and now is in a fairly good mood. So we're at no risk of going crazy or doing anything at the moment. That can change at any moment, but let's see, what is this? Limestone blocks. But I do want to start thinking about our defenses. Limestone door, because we do have some limestone blocks. It's not a lot. I don't know if we'll actually finish this. No, we should have enough for it all. I don't want to fight too many people here. I should probably do that up there as well. Because it's not that far. I want to build into here. And probably down here is the next one we want to wall off a little bit. But we can only build so far. Down here you kind of see this white line showing up, so we might just do a line here, like a little square here or something to make it easy. Then obviously the big one is like filling out these two sides over here. But I mean, for 3 people, we're doing great. Defenses are getting up. We have pretty good fire protection as well early on. Having all these like nice mountains here. Like unless lightning strikes directly in our area, which we should be able to get to and put out relatively quickly. We shouldn't have any issues. And we'll defend, make some walls and stuff. We got some graves for all the people who will sadly eventually die. But let's see, we have a decent stock of steel. We have limestone we've been working with. Medicine's still looking good. We do need some more of the basic stuff. But actually I'm gonna put Ivan here. Have these 2 unowned for now. We do have a lot of wood, so I guess we can keep upgrading these little spots inside here. What is it, furniture? Yes, it is. They'll need a dresser. They'll need an end table. And they'll have a light, a nice potted plant. Be very nice. And then Sharp, who is Kiko is bonded to. I shouldn't say owner, but they specifically say Kiko is bonded to. Where is the social? Yeah, with Sharp. If we put a bed here, which I think we have enough plain leather for after butchering some of these animals. It is right here. Yes, we do. So we'll have a nice plain leather comfy bed for our doggo. And it is now summer. So summer, it is hot. It is quite hot. And our food is gonna be fine because we eat it. Our cooked food is just eaten in enough time. But it's gonna get extra toasty inside here. So one of the things we wanna do is for temperature, we wanna make vents in the rooms so they can equalize temperature between these different places, and then we can make passive coolers, which just cost wood for the moment to cool us down if we need to. But eventually we're gonna get these AC units put in. We have the technology, we just don't have the power for them yet. Now, we still got a bunch of wood cutting to do over our farmlands. But if I look at bridges, our farming skill is not, our plant skill is not super high. So let me go back to this thing. Some of these different things like heel root, we need a minimum skill of 8. Strawberries, we need a minimum skill of 5. Some of this, like hops, we want to get started relatively soon, but not... Actually, if I look at research, can we do... We can't brew beer, so there's no reason to plant hops yet. Beer is good. Beer will help their mood, but there's no reason to make it if we have nothing to do with it. Oh, and Mr. Wild Red Fox is hunting some rats, which is great. We don't want the rats getting in, eating our stuff. Oh, beautiful. Gazelle self-tamed. It's a nice little thing that happened here. This gazelle just all of a sudden really likes us and wants to be petted by us so much. And we probably will pet it. Actually, I need to make a few things, actually. Well... We're going to slaughter it. I can either spend the time to make a little paddock for it so we can keep it. And we actually have to set up fences now in a relatively recent update. We have to put fences in, a little barn for it so it doesn't escape and run back. Or else it'll just go back out in the wild, even though it's self-tamed on its own. Or we can hold it until we actually need to, and we can hold it until we need to butcher it. Or we can butcher it now and just get the meat as we need it, No big deal. It's just gazelle aren't great as far as like a farm animal. Chunks of spacecraft impacted nearby. Ooh, that's great. We can deconstruct spacecraft. There's actually parts of our spacecraft lying around, I think, that we can deconstruct. Another one here. Yeah, I knew there was something down there. I was looking for it. Let's get us some more heel roots. We'll harvest that. Then how much limestone we have? We have all of 2. We finished these 2 little walls here. We have all of 2 limestone left. Sandstone, granite, and a little bit of marble. We actually don't have limestone on the map. As far as like these natural occurring rocks, each of them are like one of 4 different types: granite, sandstone, marble, or limestone. Aside from the obvious ore stuff like steel. Yeah, we got this limestone because there was a limestone statue here. And on this map, there actually isn't freshly occurring limestone, from what it seems. There's marble, sandstone, and granite, not the other one. Very strange, very strange. What I can do is deconstruct all that there. I kind of want to clean up some of this crap. You can be deconstructed. I don't mind that. Mine through there, mine through there, mine that. Just to clean this up a bit. It's not super necessary, but I want to smooth out our base and how it looks, at least for now. Our doggo opening doors all by his own. Nice to see. We've got more steel if we end up needing it. We don't yet. We've got wood stored, but yet we don't have stones. So we're going to get stone from some of this. Well, we already have plenty of chunks, but we're eventually going to add in ourselves a little crafting area here. We can really get production going. I think specifically, I do want to dig all this out as well. Kind of part of the slow building plan, but we're also starting to get pretty dirty all around here. Ivan is our main hauler and cleaner, but I think I should prioritize another cleaner. Probably Sharp, because Sharp isn't doing much other than construct, which although it's important, cleaning is important too, because we need to keep from getting our food contaminated, which will give us food poisoning, as well as just like the general look of the place, like the beauty, because if there's garbage everywhere, people are going to lower their mood because it's crappy. But let's see if we turn on a little, that's the roof thing. We want, automatically expand home areas. We want, is it this one? Room stat display. So if I hover over Bridges' room, we can see the impressiveness is not great. His room's not very impressive at the moment. It's rather tight as far as space is concerned, and ugly because it's very, very dirty. But some of these places, as they get better, will help his mood out. I'll help all their moods out. Yeah, it's awful, I know. But we just got to clean it up and it'll be fine. Expanding it would actually, making them bigger would actually help out just as much, if not more. Actually, speaking of stats, I want to see how warm is it. Oh, I don't need to turn the stats on. It shows right here. Outdoors it's 18, indoors it's 23, so it's 23 is good. 23 is right where we want them for comfortableness. Pen needed for my animal. I want you to get butchered. Bridges is just not doing it because he's busy handling all the plants and stuff. So he's planting little flowers and stuff, daylilies here in these little plant plots to make everything look nicer in here. And then I think he's gonna go and butcher our guy. There he is. Yeah, that's what it's saying. It'll leave and not be tamed for some reason. I don't know why it was tamed in the first place if we don't either butcher now or build up a pen. And we can probably put a nice pen up north on this side. Fairly big. One of the things I like to do is build the hay field inside the pen, so the animals will eat it as they need it. And I can kind of judge oh, if I'm getting a bunch of hay, I'm actually harvesting a bunch of hay, that means they're not eating it before it's ready to harvest. So actually I cut back down on the amount of animals, or not the amount, the size of the hay field, or I can just support more animals, so I can actually set up things and just support more animals with my hay. Otherwise, I can just let them graze in a giant, huge pen area out, wild grown area. But eventually, you do just have to work on some hay. Speaking of working, we kind of need more rice than we are getting from just this little field here. So I'm gonna turn this on, and then we're gonna define a little spot here. I'm gonna have our guy plant corn. Corn is very efficient in a few different ways. First off, corn takes a long time to grow, which means when you plant it, you invest a bunch of time into planting. The same amount of time planting corn as you do rice. But you don't harvest it for 13 more days. Versus the rice, you harvest it 3 days later. So you'll plant and reharvest rice, I think 3 or 4 times before you will harvest the corn. So you save a lot of effort. You'll get a justifiable amount of food from your corn, but you essentially invest less work into the corn. So it's really, really nice to have, because it obviously just saves your guy a lot of work. Oh, because I want to start to roam away? Darn. Can I just prioritize you slaughtering that guy? He's wandering towards me, which is really weird. Glad the warg didn't get to him first, but I can tell him to consume the gazelle. Someone's gonna have to butcher it, but it can sit outside for a day or two. No problem. I'm sure Bridges will get to it, to butchering in no time flat. But he's got a lot of planting to do, so priority-wise, it's not the first thing. But I mean, we're managing, no problem. We're making plenty of simple meals. We can get berries if we need them. We can hunt animals. We got rice in a relatively okay amount. And then I mean, the mining is has started to help clean up some of our area here. Get it cleaned up. Yeah. Again, we're trying to, not world. What this one? Yeah, we're above 20k, which probably makes us a nicer target to raid. But I mean, we got two guys who are pretty darn good at fighting. Sharp and Bridges. We should be able to fend off any little raid that can be thrown at us at the moment. I am worried about the dirtiness that is piling up in here. You can kind of visually see the little splotches on the ground if you look closely. Because I don't think Sharp is cleaning. He's doing his construction stuff, which includes deconstructing. Ooh, a transport pot scratched. Ooh, okay. Well, Ivan, could you happen to rescue her? This is one of the things. The transport pod is a way to like travel around the map very quickly. And she crashed here for some reason or another. We're going to actually rescue her. I think she's of a kinder faction. But if we rescue her, for one, yeah, she's pretty bad off, but I think we will heal her, and as long as she doesn't get infected, which she might get infected for as bad as our quality is. Our tendon quality. Yeah. She might make it. But she is of an ally faction, and she has a chance when we're done tending her that she'll just straight up join our faction as well, which would be really nice to have someone else on the team. However, oh, she's really good at medical. That is actually medical and plants. This is great. She's a cannibal too. That's not great, but I don't think that's super bad. I don't think she actually goes out of her way to eat people. But being nimble and a careful shooter is just all around great traits to have. If we do end up getting her as a recruit, because we need an actual good doctor and someone to help who's actually good at planting is great. Oh, there we go. Lightning storm. Not actually a threat to us because it's raining. The rain will automatically put out any fire. But our guys will panic over it anyway and put it out immediately. I kind of want to change her health level, so we use higher level medicine against her, or for her. But, I think we'll leave it as it is, as long as she doesn't develop an infection. Again, I think like she's like a perfect fit for what we're missing as far as like social is really good for us too, in medicine and plants. So she would be a great fit into the roles that we don't have in our party. And I think she was given to us literally by the like AI that like plans and does this all out so that she will join us. It's not guaranteed, but that's like it just looks like it is because she's a really good fit for our colony. And she already knows Ivan. She's already an acquaintance. Oh, she's an acquaintance because he rescued her. Yeah, fairly good mood otherwise. She's in one of the cleaner rooms, at least. Actually, I think Ivan cleaned up, so everything is pretty clean at home for the time being. Mostly because he's done with construction, I think. So he's helping haul all the rice and stuff. We actually have a ton of rice. Bridges was just really bad at plants, so harvesting was botching so much that he was ruining so many of the plants while harvesting them. We probably don't need this much corn, but corn is a good thing to trade. And we will definitely need to trade for some resources, specifically this higher end medicine as we end up going through it. Definitely something we want to replace, because until we get like a nice doctor, and even when we do have one, it is better to have nicer medicine. There's just some things that doctors can't overcome, no matter how good they are, without the proper treatment stuff. And this high end, this is like medium tier medicine, is good enough for pretty much everything. There's higher tier that can just solve, terrible heart conditions, but and there's even like weird things like that can bring people back to life if they've been killed recently, and resuscitate them. Some really cool technology like laser guns and stuff eventually too, but we're not there yet. We are not quite there yet. But he's slowly working on mining down here. That's good to see. I actually think I'm gonna put a concrete floor all on here. Concrete can be made really cheaply and really quick. So it is, if we change our minds and need to move to something else, we can with no issue. And see how quickly Sharp makes it. Sharp's not even that good of a constructor. I mean, he's pretty good, but he's not like a top tier, incredible carpenter or something. Like our good friend Wallbanger. He's Sharp is just mediocre in comparison, but he can still put concrete in. Anyone can pour concrete, no problem at all. But what I want to do specifically is I'm gonna make some wooden stuff. We're gonna make a door here, and I'm gonna make a wall. This is bothering me. This is super bothering me, and we're actually gonna completely change this. We're actually just gonna make this wall down this way. Just so they're in line here. There's gonna be a nice little corridor here to get to this storage slash crafting room that's gonna be here. And yeah, Sharp is gonna have a bunch of work for him for the time being. He did a bunch of cleaning recently, so we can probably go for a while without a nice little deep clean. Really, really cross my fingers on getting Mindy on the team. Actually, I probably should have built the like guest barracks up here first. That way we can have a chance, a better chance to recruit people. I think he's intentionally trying to mine through all this and then plant the stuff, which is weird because I know your construction is priority, but your mining is second. Yeah, he should be filling up those little pieces first, if anything. Ivan's helping, that's good to see. Oh, that's not good at all. That's not good at all. So it says a warg is hunting Kiko for food. So Kiko is our dog, and we love dogs here. And we are not going to let some warg bully Kiko around. We're going to militarize you. Actually, Ivan, why don't you come help out as well? Actually, all hands on deck, baby. Oh, goodness. Okay, so Sharp. Yeah, we'll do the good medicine for you guys. I've got it. I might as well not wait. But, You need treated there, Sharp. Who's doing it? Sewing area. No, you're not. Oh, he's our main doctor. Ivan. Wait, why aren't you? You're feeding Mindy instead of treating him? Listen, Mindy's cool and all, Ivan. I can't deny that, but Sharp is literally bleeding to death. He'll die in 12 hours. It says right here. If you don't heal his wounds. Wargs are no joke, buddy. And we're getting relatively okay quality treatment. 37 is good enough for as bad as Ivan is at medicine. 9.7 is not great, but Sharp's on his feet again. Able to work. We don't need to force him to do bed rest. And then we even got some extra meat to get cooking. And we're almost skilled enough in cooking to make the higher tier food, the fine meals, which are made from 2 resources, meat and a vegetable. And they actually increase our mood for the guys that eat it. A little bit of blood in a few different places, but it'll get cleaned up eventually. Sharp taking his break. We get a lot of work done, actually, because these guys get 2 extra hours in every day for work. So they're very, very efficient on top of being very good at combat. Like, it is really hard to take Sharp out. Unless we literally leave him, to bleed out in his bed. Let's speed this up again. We got a lot of work to do. We're just kind of chilling out, waiting for it to go through. It's mostly a lot of construction that we gotta kind of get through, with Ivan being our only guy who's constructing. It's pretty relaxed and chill what we're gonna be doing for the good short bit here. I kind of want to I think I want a recreational area like here. Like a hallway here, and then like guests here. And then like expanded rooms up here as we get more and more colonists and stuff. I don't want to go too far because I want the farm kind of like here-ish. I need more room for storage because we're going to eventually expand to this, but we got more than enough than what we need for now. So, oh, he did develop infection. Dang it. And Ivan is going to wake up in a little bit and treat it, but Sharp, actually, you, priority, need to get bed rest. Why are you not getting bed rest? Okay, you are now. Okay, because yeah, infection is really, really bad. Infection will kill you if it's not treated well, which, Ivan, we're hoping you treat well. Please do. 36. Okay, that's not terrible. Oh, and it looks like Mindy's healed and she's leaving. Well, it would have been really nice to get you recruited right now, Mindy. But, oh, and the gazelle that we executed, that we butchered, is just rotting out there. That's great. Ended up wasting that meat. We did butcher the warg, I think. Or maybe we did butcher it. I think we did butcher it. That must have been a different gazelle. At least I think it is. But we can actually watch the infection. So, and see how bad it's going. So his immunity, as you can see in the bottom, is 43, going up 44. And the infection, how bad it is up at the top. 41, 42 as it's going up here. And as long as the immunity gets to 100 before the infection does, we're good. He'll live. But depending on the tend quality, how long he sits without getting tended, and if he's not resting, he won't gain enough immunity, you know, to beat out the infection, essentially. If we had really good medicine, it wouldn't matter. But we have mediocre medicine, which would be good enough if we had a good doctor. But yeah, now his immunity is going to go really slow because it's not tended. So hopefully Ivan will get off his rear end and prioritize to tending. And tend really well. I don't think he can tend really well. His medicine isn't even 1. Yeah, 16. That's as good as we can hope. But our guy's tough, so his immunity is going up very, very well. He's getting some good rest in a good bed. We should make it with Sharp. As you can see with the green little symbol there, signifying that so far he's in no major risk of dying from the infection. Yeah, we should be clear. Medical emergency, why? Oh, because the infection is getting worse and worse. But the immunity is almost maxed out. So it'll start fixing it. And we'll be good. Yep, immunity develops. So the infection is going to start dying down. 84%, 83%. And he's back on his feet. Doesn't need to sit in bed anymore. He has developed immunity. And we need to put up columns in here because this ceiling I don't think is going to hold here if we put too much up. Because the ceiling can actually collapse if we don't have proper supports. Although it seems like it's actually fine. We're going to put the columns up anyway. Of course. And I'm actually going to put furniture, some of the torches in here. So we got some light inside as well. Because these guys are working in the dark right now. Which actually hurts their productiveness and their mood if they're working in darkness. Can you prioritize working on that? Because this is going to keep collapsing. Thank you very much. Everyone's in here helping out, which is a good sign to see. Everyone's helping out on what it's not a menial task; it's an important task. But Bridges is not prioritized to do it. Ivan's not prioritized to do it. Sharp is a little bit to do some mining. Actually, they're not supposed to mine at all because we don't have it turned on. It's very weird. Yes, very weird. But they're helping, so we'll take it as it is. Okay, so actually no, we're not doing it yet. We want to deconstruct this stuff first, so it's not looking goofy. Oh, minor break risk. What happened? Ugly, drowsy, sick, and awful bedroom. Well, you're getting over all that. You're gonna go sit down, be comfortable. Your mood will be fine. Don't you worry about it. Luxuriously comfortable. Resting on clouds of heaven. Always nice to be back in the bed. And your Kiko's master. How could your mood be anything but perfect, Mr. Sharp? How could it? I guess you were pretty sick there for a while, but you're fine. You're fine, Sharp. You're a tough cookie to crack. The infection is going down. You're almost completely clear of it. I don't want to haul all of them, but I kind of do want to haul all of them. Because I happen to know that I am out of room. This dumping pile. But, you know, it's good work for them. Yeah, we'll let this all set up. Sharp is cleaning right now, which is good. We need the good deep clean. And then we're going to get him some more construction jobs to work on. There's a dead rat corpse right there. Kiko, why don't you eat that dead rat? Probably because it's a bone. Probably because it's just bones now. What? Looks like Sharp's got pretty much everything clean. Ooh, more space chunks. Very close to home. So Sharp, let's get working on that. After you're done eating, I guess. Such good progress we're making. We do have a good bit more mining to do, but otherwise we're doing very, very good. Making good progress. We should have an attack coming soon, I think. Oh yeah, here's the last attack. An enemy raid happened 5 days in. Yeah, I'm guessing we're gonna have another one soon. We're hovering just above 22,000. We're trying not to increase our value too much by adding too much too quickly. I really want to get another recruit before we get too much more wealth. But food means wealth. So we don't want to go too crazy on that unless we have enough people to defend ourselves from some more dangerous threats. But see, 8 here. And you're on top of things, bud. A little too on top of things, honestly. Well, that is 8. Cancel this. I only want 7. One odd number. One door here, and this is going to be our barracks. Barracks for the guests. And for now, 6 beds is more than enough. I don't think we're going to have that many guests. Put a wooden table at each of them. And probably just one torch like here. It's going to be fine. And we need floor. We need a nice wooden floor. Them to all sit there. We got plenty of wood to do it. I kind of want to, yeah, zone. We're going to build roof over here. So they're going to cut down the trees in this little corridor here, of course, but there's going to be a roof over there. We're also going to, I think we're going to put concrete here for now. I want something like, you know, sandstone tile or, excuse me, tile or flagstone, or at least paved, maybe. Ooh, we have a little quest. So there's a recon helmet. Recon helmet is good. It was given to us by the Tana. Where is this on the map? Right here. So our base is right here. And if we send someone on these roads, we can actually get here pretty quickly and just get that helmet for what is hopefully not a very dangerous ambush, because there's always kind of a chance for an ambush at these places where they have little stashes of things, but you should kind of expect to have an ambush, so we should probably send Ridges, who is our strongest guy. Although, of anyone, we can probably manage without Sharp. But it's really risky. It's risky sending one person, because if one person gets hurt and they can't heal themselves in time, they're done. And if we send 2 people, Home might get attacked or might not be able to just manage its regular stuff on its own. Yeah, not good. We also don't have anything that's going to speed up our movement either. So we can't get there even faster, like if we had donkeys or something to help haul things and move us faster. Or horses and all. Psychic Soothe. So that raises everyone's mood for all our males and stuff. It's still summer, and it's already warning us that we need warm clothes. We kind of do, but we kind of don't. Because we're going to have a mild winter. Ooh, we had a meteorite of compacted steel. Did that hit and kill this gazelle? It sure looked like it did. That's not very good for that gazelle. But let's see, production wise, we want. Do we not have wood? I think we're actually out of wood, which means we just need to cut more. Need to give the order to chop more wood. I don't know why I'm going slow on this, which just doesn't need it all to be chopped. It's all gonna need chopped eventually. Get that out of here. Just one nice little spot for that piece to go right over there. Yeah, get it over there. Yes, we can make this for guests. Ooh, okay. Oh, these are all for guests. We're not going to charge any money. We can actually charge money for people to stay here. But we have a raid, and they're attacking immediately. So we have... I could have swore I saw 2 guys in the little thing. There's that guy there. There's someone else from another direction that's attacking. I don't think so. It's just Mr. Rat here. So what we're gonna do, bridges and sharp. Military up. They're gonna come out here and set up. Oh, he's coming over here. What a sneaky sly dog. Okay, so sharp, as his name implies, he's gonna stab him with his sharp gun. Or his sharp knife. I'm actually gonna move to his side here, so we hopefully don't get shot from bridges. Perfect. And he sadly died immediately. So, yeah, no rescuing him, disappointedly. And Sharp, as always, getting beat up, but not too badly this time. I'm going to set him to herbal medicine only, which we do have some to treat because his wounds aren't bad at all. We don't need to waste the good medicine on the wounds that he has, just little bruises and stuff. But I mean, we made some good progress today. The corn is slowly growing. It's about halfway done. We are stockpiling a good bit of rice. I mean, we're going to get tons of corn for winter. Because when winter comes around, although our plants might survive, they might not grow, but they might survive. And we won't have to replant them. It is very likely that it'll get cold enough to just kill them all off. And we'll lose a lot of potential food in the winter. So we definitely want to have a nice, safe stockpile. And then when spring comes around, whatever we have left over, we can very easily take it to sell to one of our good buddies out here in the world that we have settled by. But as far as today is concerned, I think this is a great time to leave off. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. We're coming back tomorrow. Don't have D&D tomorrow, as is normal for Tuesday, but not tomorrow. So we're going to see me then.